Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well. So today I'll be discussing my experiences that I've had at Rocknations. I didn't go this year because I had other things going on, so I was a bit sad about that. But instead I thought I would share with you guys these experiences that I've had from Rocknations in 2017 to 2019. If I remember correctly, I did go for 3 years in a row, and I've enjoyed all three of the Rocknations that I've been to. So, these are some of the experiences that I can remember at the top of my head. I can't remember exactly what year it was, but at Rocknations we have a morning session and an evening session. And in the morning we have a few games, and then later on we have a preach. So the games in the morning are what they call tribal wars. So there are two sides, and each of the sides are named after a colour, and that's where we play various different games. And whatever side wins the game, they will get points, and then at the end of the few days that Rock Nation is run for, those scores will be added up, and then we'll find out who wins overall. So there was one year where I was part of the red tribe, and so I thought it would be fun to dye my hair red. And as you can tell, my hair is no longer dip dyed because it was temporary, and it said it would only last a few weeks. So I was like, that's good, because I won't have to go into school with my hair dip dyed red. But the dip dye took about a year to wash out, like to fully wash out. But after a while it wasn't too bad because it just kind of blended in with my hair colour, so it actually started looking a bit more nice. Because when I first put it in, it was quite a bright colour, but I tried to make it match my hair as much as possible. So that was an interesting experience. And then there was one year, I think this was one of my earlier years, and it was in an evening session. And the evening sessions are the point of Rocknations where things get slightly emotional for anyone. Purely because after most preachers, the preacher would call on certain people to come to the front so that they can pray over them. So there was a specific night where I can't remember who was preaching, and I can't remember what they were talking about, but I have got notes somewhere because I do like writing notes during preaches, so then it's something to look back on. So it's there if I need it. So if I'm having a bad day and I need some inspiration, then I can look back on that. So anyway, one night a preacher had just finished their preach, and so they basically said that those who are going through a hard time, whether that's with anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, etc., come to the front so then we can pray for you. So as soon as they said that, I was there in my seat, like, I feel like I should go to the front. I have that urge to go to the front, but I'm too scared to go to the front. because no one else was going to the front, and I just felt really awkward if I was the only one. And on the other side of the row that I was sitting on, I could see my brother looking at me, literally just staring at me, and I knew that he was thinking the same thing. He thought I should go up as well. So I was like, okay, just go up. Don't overthink it. Just go to the front and just take it from there. Because if you have an urge to go to the front, then clearly that means you need to go to the front. So I got to the front. There was quite a lot of people there. So there was quite a few leaders that were part of Rocknations, and they were spread out amongst the crowd at the front, praying for as many people as they can. And also doing that, I just had time to myself, time to reflect, time to think about why I actually came to the front. And it was purely because on that year I was dealing with anxiety. It was the point where anxiety was a whole new thing for me. It was a thing I never experienced before, so I had no idea how to deal with it. And it didn't really make any sense to me because I wasn't sure how to take it, if that makes any sense. So they then got to me and they prayed for me, and I was listening to what they were saying. I was listening to the lyrics of the song in the background, and that's when it started getting emotional. When I started to tear up a little bit. And once everyone was prayed over, the preacher then said, if you would like to talk to someone, go up on the balcony. There's a door that will lead into a room where there are leaders that you can talk to. This was mainly for people that have decided to become a Christian on the night, but it was also for people that just needed a general talk. So I went anyway, and I just sat down at a table where one of the leaders were, and I basically told them my life story, pretty much. To the point that the next thing I knew, my youth group was waiting for me so then we could go back to the hotel. So I was up there for probably more than an hour. So that just clearly showed that I needed to get quite a lot of things off my chest. But I felt a sense of relief after I did that. So I'm glad that I did what I did. So that was a good spiritual experience for me. And then, just because time's flying by with this video, I thought I would quickly share a fun experience at Rocknations. So in 2019, one day at lunch, where Rocknations has lots of different food stalls and a few activities going on, there was one activity that was a very big inflatable water slide. And that water slide was Europe's largest inflatable water slide. And it was very, very high. And I was like, okay, I am gonna overcome my fear and I'm gonna go down it. So I went down it, and let's just say I went down it a second time. So that just shows how much I enjoyed it. But at first, I closed my eyes when I went down because it went so quick and it was quite steep. And I also took part in a colour war. I think that was my first time in a colour war, and also my first time being in a foam war as well, which was after the colour war. So that was fun. They also do seminars. There is quite a few different ones that you can take part in, all based on different ministries within the church. So I took part in the worship seminar and I got a chance to sing, which I enjoyed. And that just helped me to grow more in my love for music and worship. So that was a good experience for me. And it was the kind of experience that brought me closer to God, which is partly why I enjoyed it as well. So that was just a few highlights of the times that I've been to Rocknations. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video or learned something from this video. And on that note, I'll see you guys next week.